Hi there, it's Nicole McGork from Mama Elephant, and today I have a card share showcasing the Polar Pals Creative Cuts dies. This is a great collection of dies that coordinate with the Polar Pals stamp set. For my card today, I started by stamping the critters from Polar Pals onto some smooth white cardstock using Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and then I'm coloring them in with Copics. I'm going to speed through the coloring portion. Hopefully it's not too fast for those of you who enjoy the coloring and seeing exactly what colors I've used. I tried to kind of maybe keep it in the middle of speed-wise. I wanted to speed it up so the video wasn't quite so long, but I didn't want to make it too fast. Trying to find a happy medium there. I think it's fun when coloring images with whatever medium you choose to kind of see the images come to life as you lay down the color and keep building and adding upon that. I chose to go with a pretty traditional color scheme of red and green for my card today, or the critters for their little accessories, the scarf and hat and the hair bow. And I love the green scarf, but one of my favorite things to do is to add detail to the pieces like this, and so I am going to add some fun little detail to that here in a little bit. I chose to color his hat in red instead of maybe a more traditional black, just to add a pop of color. Since the penguins are basically black, I did use grays to kind of build upon that and to give them the illusion of being black, but still have that depth and dimension. So I thought the red would be a fun touch. Now I'm using a white gel pen to add polka dots to his scarf, and I think that helps bring the whole image alive. If you saw my blog post last week or my video with the Mama Elephant Pika Frames dies, where I colored in a little coffee mug that Santa is holding, I did kind of the same thing. It's green as well with white polka dots. I think that's just a fun thing to do. It's also easy to maybe create a plaid by drawing really simple lines back and forth for things like scarves. Now I added some white detailing to the tummy of the penguin. It's not very easy to see in the video and maybe not even the photos, but in real life, those little tiny white dots add some nice detail to the critter. I will be adding white dots to the cheeks of my penguins as well when I'm all finished coloring. The little female penguin is getting colored exactly the same. She has quite a few less accessories. She only has the hair bow. So for her, she was pretty quick and easy to color. Went back made a little more shading to my hat. I do that as I'm coloring. I see something on the previous image and I think, oh, I should go back and add something. It's easier to add, but you can't really take away. For the tummies, I want the illusion of a white tummy on the penguins, but the cool light grays will kind of build upon that and give it a little dimension and still give it that feeling of being white. I took a black gel pen to their eyes when I was finished coloring, and then that white gel pen to her cheeks, you can see there. Now I'm going to die cut these with the Creative Cuts dies, and I had stamped them too close together to die cut them both at the same time. Luckily they were still far enough apart that I could die cut them and not, ruin one of the images, but they were too close together to do them both at once. I'm going to go ahead and die cut several of the other pieces I'm going to need for my cards while I have my die cutting machine out. So I die cut one of the Polaroid Fun frames. This is the largest Polaroid frame from that die collection. From some pattern paper from Lawn Fawn from their Snow Day collection. I'm going to be keeping the inside portion of the frame for my card. Then I die cut a white frame from the bottom scrap piece of the paper that I'm using, or that I stamped the penguins on. and I will die cut another frame from dark gray cardstock, the slate cardstock from Simon Says Stamp. That's going to give me a little bit of a shadow for my Polaroid frame to give it a little dimension. On the white inside portion of the Polaroid frame I die cut, I stamped the Snowdrift from the Polar Pals stamp set and colored it in with a little bit of the BG0000 Snow Green Copic marker. It was already perfectly sized to fit inside my frame, and this will give me a nice little place to build my snow scene with my penguins. This was one of those cards where I didn't have it all exactly planned out before I started, so I didn't color everything at one time and then put it all together. It was more of one of those projects where I had the initial idea, I started coloring and die cutting and everything, and then I was like, oh, I need to add something here. So I went ahead and added some of the accessory stamped images for Polar Pals, coloring that in with some reds, using the same colors I used as the other images, so I didn't have to go get any additional markers or anything like that. And then I wanted the pole there to be red and white, so I took my white gel pen and colored over the black portions with my white marker, or white pen rather. And I'll die cut that, and I can add it to my scene. So it's starting to come together now that I have some of these elements. And I need to stamp my greeting, so I'm taking one of the greetings from Polar Pals, and what I like to do, I didn't even need to mask it off here, but instead, if you're very careful, you can ink up part of the greeting with one color of ink. In this instance, I used black. And then for the script word, I am going to ink that up with a red ink. I love multicolored greetings. I think it adds a nice, interesting element to a card, and that's a really easy way to do it. I felt the area above the penguins was a little empty, so I went ahead and stamped these star garlands from Polar Pals, and I'm going to color those in with the same color scheme that I'm using throughout the card with the red, green, and white. For the white stars, I'm actually taking that BG0000 Snow Green Copic marker and adding just a touch of color to those, and I'll go back over them with the Wink of Stella Clear Glitter Brush marker once I have those die cut. And those really fill in the top portion of my Polaroid frame and finish that off. So now I can go ahead and put the whole design together, and I'm going to glue my white frame to that dark gray one, slightly offsetting it to give it that nice shadowed appearance. Make sure I get that nice and flat. And then I can build the center scene portion. Glue the snowdrift in place. And then I'll tuck in all of the other little elements as well. So you can see how it comes together as you keep adding all the little bits and pieces here. I love that with the Mama Elephant stamp sets, how so many of them have set great additional accessory type stamps and dies that really help you complete an entire scene. So I think that's fun. I'm using a couple of different adhesives here. It really doesn't matter. It's kind of whatever you have on hand. I'm using my tape runner and the Zig glue pen, depending on the size of the images. For these tiny stars, the Zig glue pen really works better because it's such a small little die cut piece. And I thought it would be fun to have the star garland be imperfect. I didn't want it to be exact. And I am using that acrylic block to hold those in place while they dry there. So once I have that done, I'm going to go ahead and take my Wink of Stella pen now and go over the garland and add that fun glitter detail. This is a holiday themed card, so I always like adding glitter detail any time of the year really, but I think it's perfect for a holiday themed card. I have die cut a large tag from some Fog Simon Says stamp cardstock using the new Tag-A-Lot Creative Cuts collection from Mama Elephant, and the whole reinforcement from some Simon Says stamp slate gray cardstock, and I'm going to glue that whole reinforcement to the top of my tag and then take a Crop-A-Dile and punch a hole there through the tag portion so I can tie some ribbon to the top of my tag before I adhere it to my card. So I can adhere my Polaroid frame now, and I'm going to do it slightly offset, not a lot, but just enough because I want it to look like a Polaroid frame that you kind of, it's just taped to this tag that's on a card. So you'll see that tape here in a minute. It's coming together now. I'm going to take some washi tape, both the top and the bottom of my Polaroid frame. And I've also tied that a red bow to the top of my oversized jumbo tag. The last thing I'm going to do is take some foam adhesive and place it on the back of the tag to adhere it to my card base. I like a little bit of adhesive. I think it adds the very subtle dimension, but still helps keep it from appearing too flat. I'll adhere that to my card, and then I'll take a scattering of Christmas colored sequins and glue those in place using some matte medium adhesive from Ranger, and my card is finished. I hope you've enjoyed this video showcasing the brand new Polar Pals Creative Cuts dies. The supplies I've used are listed and linked below the video on YouTube. Thanks for watching.